People don't think it's an issue. It's kind of like our baseline standard as society is to dislike our lives. If we take a closer look, we can look at our lives itself. Maybe there's things in our lives that we don't particularly like, but we feel like I don't have control over that. You know deep down that you're amazing. Maybe you don't consciously know it, or maybe you don't consciously feel it, or maybe you do consciously know it and you do feel it and you affirm yourself and you tell yourself that in the mirror every morning in your affirmations. Hi guys, welcome to You Are, a place to help you unlock who you really are in a way that's integrated and holistic. My name's Yuna and I'm so glad you're here. So in this video, I thought we'd talk a little bit about why unlocking who you truly are on the inside is so important. So I was thinking about my life and different people that I've talked to, and I hear so many people that I know, and you're probably the same, talk about how they dislike their lives. Maybe they don't use those specific words, but when they describe different elements in their life, it's from a point where they're just not enjoying it. They're not happy, they're not fulfilled, they're not really getting pleasure from different situations, circumstances, and people who they interact with on a daily basis. I've heard people talk about how they don't like their jobs, how they aren't feeling fulfilled in the work that they do, how they're not happy with their body, how they're not happy emotionally, how they're not happy with the way that the world is going. And it's just this general consensus of life sucks, or life is not enjoyable. This is something that I just kind of have to get through. And I wake up each morning basically dreading the day ahead. But one thing that I've realized is that because it's so widespread and it's just part of a normal conversation, kind of when you ask someone, hey, how are you? Maybe they'll give you the I'm good answer. But if you really dig deep into the how are you really, then the whole, oh, well, you know, and then the complaint about whatever is going on in their life starts to pop up. But because that's so normal, people don't think it's an issue. It's kind of like our baseline standard as society is to dislike our lives. And that's what I think is a issue. That's something that I recognize is normal, but I don't want it to be normal. And I feel like deep down, all of us don't want that to be our normal. But me saying I don't want it to be normal, it's not like I can just click my fingers and then things instantly change. There's lots of different reasons why things are the way that they are, and people don't enjoy life the way that I think that we're designed to enjoy life. And that's from society, culture, our upbringing, things that have just been ingrained into us since we were children, or from past generations, that is deemed as this is just the way that life is, and this is just the way that life goes, and this is who you are as a person. But how about we challenge that notion? This is just the way life goes. Who made that standard? Who made that rule? Who decided that disliking our lives is the way that life is meant to be? And the same way that that was decided or it evolved over time, I think that we can decide differently and we can evolve our lives into being what we want it to be, what we enjoy, into coming into who we really are. But I do think it's a layered approach. So we can take a look at the world around us, and when we take a look at the world, we can recognize and realize things that we don't like suffering, world hunger, maybe global warming, and all of these things that we want to change on a worldwide basis. But then if we take a closer look, we can look at our lives itself. Maybe there's things in our lives that we don't particularly like, but we feel like I don't have control over that. For example, people may feel like they don't like the job that they're working, or they don't like the area that they live in, or they don't like their financial situation. They don't like their community that's around them. So there's a dislike on a life level, not just a worldwide level. And then we can take it and look even deeper, on a deeper layer, where we look at, wait, there's things in my life that I actually don't like about myself. These are very personal, so they're not external, like the world and our life and the situations around it. They're internal. For different people, it's different things, but it often has basis and roots in insecurity. So maybe it's things like, I don't like the way that I look, I don't like the way that my body feels, I don't like the way that my body looks, I feel like I'm not smart enough, I feel like I'm not rich enough, I feel like I'm not doing well in my career, I feel like I'm not doing well in school. All of these things that are tied to who we are, essentially. And that's where I feel like the issue actually stems from. I think firstly what happens is we gain these insecurities and dislikes on an individual level, and then they start to expand into our life, and then collectively as a world it expands into the whole world, into worldwide problems. So we have inner issues that don't necessarily get dealt with, and then they turn into life issues, and then collectively as a species they turn into worldwide issues, and then the worldwide ones feel like these massive problems that we can't solve. But the good thing is, if we can go down to the root, the deepest layer, and deal with the things that are there within ourselves, we can then start dealing with our life issues, and then we can start changing the world around us. Because really, you know deep down that you're amazing. Maybe you don't consciously know it, or maybe you don't consciously feel it, or maybe you do consciously know it and you do feel it, and you affirm yourself and you tell yourself that in the mirror every morning in your affirmations. Or maybe you've never ever told yourself that because of things that have been told to you and put on you throughout your whole life. But I do think that deep down each of us know that we're amazing, we're spectacular, we're truly just awesome. But there's often a lack of recognition of it because of the way that we feel within ourselves, the way that our circumstances make us feel, and things that seem like they're outside of our control. But then we have little moments when you do something amazing and you just get that overwhelming feeling of happiness, or you achieve something that's really hard and then you start to feel really good about yourself. Or even if it's not specific to you, sometimes you get that same feeling, that same sensation when you're watching something external. So let's say you're watching your favorite basketball team, or you're watching your favorite football team, and they score a goal and they win, and you get this excitement like, yes, that's amazing, life feels amazing. And in that moment, you within yourself, within your body, feel amazing. And that's a sign and a signal that deep down you are incredible. So the goal then becomes in life, how do we unlock that feeling of I'm amazing that's within us, right? How do we unlock it? How do we understand it? How do we use it like a tool for our lives? And then as we unlock that, how do we start to change our lives and the circumstances around us, and then expand that into how do we change the world and the circumstances in the world that we want to see improve? For a long time, I didn't even have that goal, like help the world, make the world a better place. That sounded very airy-fairy to me. And if I'm being completely honest, I didn't really care about that too much. I was more concerned with, I have a lot on my plate in my own life. I don't really have energy or capacity to be worrying about a bunch of other people's lives, when I can barely control my own. So if you're at that space, I definitely hear you, I see you, I understand where you're coming from and why you feel the way that you feel. But the desire to change your own life is an amazing first step. Like, that's a great desire to have. So if you even have that, that's great. And let's say you don't even have that. Let's say you know that you aren't where you want to be in life, or you aren't feeling the way that you want to, or your life isn't looking the way that it wants to, but you don't even desire for that to change, like you have no capacity. You can have a desire to have that desire. So I don't desire for my life to change, but I desire to desire that. And then once I desire that, once I get to the point of desiring that, I can actually start changing my life. So even if you have no desire to see any change, that's okay. That's still a starting point. So yeah, those are just a couple of my thoughts about why I think unlocking who you really are is so important, and how it can change everything around you step by step, and it will look different for each person, and everybody's journey will be different but beautiful nonetheless. And I would love it if you were to comment down below what's one thing that you want to either change about yourself internally, in that internal dialogue, or how you feel, or that you want to change about your life, so external situations and circumstances or people that are in your life. Or if you have a desire to change things about the world, you can comment down below about what you would want to see different in the world, because at least having that desire is an amazing thing. It's a pleasure to have shared this small portion of your journey with you.